what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more.
Yo, what is up? Happy Wednesday, everyone. We got a monster stream here today. Lot of fun stuff. Super fun show planned for you guys. I can't wait. Oh, baby. We've got three big things we're going to be hitting here today. We've got the main event, right? We're going to be filling out our NFL playoff bracket. Did that last year on stream. Was a lot of fun. Had to bring it back, right? Fired up for this year's playoffs. Man, this is going to be an awesome tournament, right? And of course, we've got the little challenge going on in Discord too. So I got to go on stream and show my entry to the official Dr. Pigskin Super Bowl Wizard Challenge. But we've also got a lot of news, man. There's a lot of stuff to talk about that's happened really in the past few days, right? You had Black Monday, all these coaches getting fired and everything like that, right? A lot of crazy stuff in the coaching carousel, a lot of stuff to talk about with that. And then on top of that, the third thing we're going to be doing, the thing we're actually going to kick this stream off with, shout out the homie, the producer, Caden himself coming through, putting together a fun little quiz for us to start things off with too. We have got a Sporkle quiz made by Caden specifically for this stream, ties into our coaching discussion, and it's been a while since we've done a Sporkle quiz, so I'm excited to do that as well. I've got it pulled up right now. There's like a little spoilers protection, so like I can't actually see what's on there, but I've got it pulled up on my screen. We'll take a look at that in a sec. But before we get into all that, let's catch up. It's been a minute. How are y'all doing? You guys know the drill. If you're in here, feel free to say hello in chat. Looks like we got a good crew in here already. We got Caden, we got Brent, we got Jack and Pearchamp. What is going on, fellas? This is a great stream right here, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. We're going to go through a lot, but it's going to be a lot of fun. But cheers to you guys for tuning in. I got my new water bottle. Shout out Christine getting me an Owala for Christmas. I got to say, I'm on the Owala train now. I had my Hydro Flask for a minute. It got a little leaky, but this thing is bigger. It's leak proof. It's got the little straw built in. I know, sometimes I say, there's just a trendy water bottle that you have to get every year, apparently. There's been the Stanley and the Hydro Flask, but I think Owala is my new favorite, so we're going to stay well hydrated as well. But let's catch up with chat. Looks like we got some activity in here already. Brent is saying, if you told me in early January that a small club of Brentford Football Club would be in 5th place in the Premier League standings with a set-piece coach as manager, I would call you crazy. They are 5th. See, that shows how much of a soccer casual I've been. Because here's the thing. I know Brentford, right? And I know they recently got promoted not that long ago. That's kind of crazy that they're in 5th right now and we're here in January. I mean, we're at the midway point of the season at this point now, are we not? That is pretty nuts, honestly. And I know you've been supporting Brentford for a minute. Let's go, baby. Shout out the soccer correspondent, Brent, coming through with a little nugget right there. I love that. We got Jack saying Seahawks to the bowl. We'll see, man. You know what's crazy? Here's what's really fun. I do not have a singular Super Bowl winner in mind right now, genuinely. Me filling out this bracket right here, I would say outside of the wild card round, and even then there's a few matchups that I haven't picked in my head yet, but beyond the wild card round, this is all completely off the dome. I've thought about things a little bit, right? There's certainly some teams that I like, and I mean, it's human nature, right? I've seen the wild card schedule. I would say I have winners I feel pretty good about in my mind for almost all the games. There's a few that I still I don't know who I'm going to pick for this game yet. But beyond that, dude, genuinely, I'm not just saying this to build up the plot or suspense, but Jack, genuinely, I'm not sure if I'm picking the Seahawks for the Super Bowl or not. I might. There's a lot of teams I've not ruled out to pick yet, and I think that's what makes this year's playoffs so fun. There's no one truly dominant team that stands over the rest. There's, respectfully, no disrespect if there's Chiefs fans watching, but honestly, it's kind of nice knowing that Kansas City is not going to be in the Super Bowl. It's just nice, right? We've got some fresh blood. it's going to be nice to see some other teams get some big games and big spots. I'll enjoy it, I guess. I don't know. I know we got Laywell. He's a big Chiefs fan. I'm not trying to diss him, but it'll be nice to see someone else personally. Parachamp says might not have won fantasy, but he picked the games the best. Yeah, you did, man. That's right. Congratulations on winning the picks challenge. Dude, I gotta say, it got a little close there at the end. I tried to make a spirited comeback on you, but you held off, man. Shout out Parachamp. Let's go, man. Second annual picks competition. Parachamp bringing it home. Oh, yeah, baby. You love to see it. You love to see it. Jack says the 2024 Dr. Pigskin Super Bowl Wizard says the Seahawks are winning it in his completely unbiased opinion. I mean, hey, you did kind of nail it with the Eagles last year. I will say, going into the playoffs last year, I really was underestimating Philly a little bit. If you go back and watch that stream from last year, if you look at my bracket or anything, bro, I had them getting first rounded, which was, I remember even Henry in chat being like, are you sure? Christian Watson's hurt. The Packers offense might be a little cooked. I'm like, whatever. No, well, we'll get to the Eagles when we get to the bracket. That's what I'll say. But I've got some Eagles takes, honestly. But, man, I'm so excited to fill out this bracket. We got Sebastian in here as well saying, on Eric's soul, we all think the NFL should cancel the playoffs and give the Lombardi to the Lions for how hard they tried. But have you considered that the Vikings have also tried really hard? I mean, hey, respectfully, we had to have tried at least a little bit harder, right? Considering we swept the Lions. I feel like that means that we tried the hardest out of all the teams. I don't know. What do I know, right? It's just so awesome that every team in our division had a winning record. And it's so awesome that there's a team that's 8-9 and getting into the playoffs. And I say that as a salty Vikings fan. Obviously, the Vikings didn't deserve to make the playoffs, dude. We just shouldn't have sucked earlier in the year. But Caden said the Eagles last year. Yeah, dude, I don't know what I was on last year with that matchup, honestly. I was so confident the Packers are going to win. We'll see how I pick those teams this year. But anyways. Enough beating around the bush. Let's jump in. Let's check out this quiz, man. It's been a while since we've done a nice little Sporkle quiz. I gotta say, when I pulled this up, the Urban Meyer picture is crazy. All I know about this quiz right now is the title, pretty much, right? But what we're doing is we are matching the one-year coaches with their point differential. Oh, so that's crazy because Caden and I texted about this a little bit earlier today. So what it really is the point differential of one and done coaches. I thought it was the point differential of this year's first year. Dude, this is even better. One and done head coaches match with their point differential. I love that. Hence Urban Meyer in the picture. Okay, it's clocking to me now. There we go, baby. There we go. All right. Let's give this a shot, shall we? Let's give this a shot. After we do this, we'll hit on the coach firings and the coach carousel and all that stuff. I've got that up right here because there's a lot to talk about. But let's give this little quiz a try first, shall we? Shout out Caden for putting this together. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. So this is one of those ones where you have to match it up across. Okay. So one and done head coaches. Oh, man. So the one that's the most interesting is 0 point differential, right? I feel like that to be fired and have a 0 point differential, truly, you weren't truly terrible, right? Let's see. Let's start with the worst. -204. You know what's crazy is I should actually, I'm getting off track here. I should know this Frank Reich one because I remember putting down the Panthers point differential as a note for my most recent video when I was talking about them. I want to say it was in the 160s. That doesn't seem right. I think it might have been -140. Dude, this quiz is actually so tough. Schottenheimer must have been the 0, Sebastian is saying. I could see that. Let's see. Where's Marty Schottenheimer? 2001, he's the 0. Why did he get fired, though? What must be the lore for that? Oh, man. What's the lore with that, dude? I got caught lacking a little bit, I guess. Obviously, Marty Schottenheimer's had a very successful coaching career. Dude, this quiz is so hard, dude. This is a tough one. Oh my gosh. I mean, you just have to try and like put. Okay, I feel like Pete Carroll. Oh, Pete Carroll. Would that have been with the Jets? Was he one and done? Holy crap, dude. We've got back to back Texans coaches with David Coley and Lovie Smith. We've also got, okay, Loki, Urban Myers might be a little bit lower just because he was fired like in the middle of the season, right? I think Urban Meyer at negative 94, that might be a solid guess just because like it was bad, but he only lasted like 11 games, I think, right? He went 8-8 with Washington and got Snydered. Okay, there you go. I got you. I got you. And also, I'll get to your. I'm seeing something about a prize from Pear Champ here. Um. Oh, so I'll be honest, dude. Okay, we'll answer this. So we never actually gave out a prize for the Pick'em Challenge last year. I suppose was it Green Gandalf, I think, right? Because I tried to find the person who won. The dude who won last year, his entry name was like Rakisha Brown or something. Didn't end up finding him. I should have just like done a better way to like authenticate things or whatever. Here's what I'll say though this year. Honestly, Pear Champ, like I will try and hook you up with something just because I didn't give out a prize last year. And it is also like nice knowing the person that won it this year. I say like knowing air quotes, but like I could actually like set something up. Here's what I'll say. I will come up with something, or at least like I'll come up with a few ideas. We'll get you a little something. It's not going to be like signed Bart Starr jersey or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you earned it, bro. You earned it. We'll get a little prize, right? And maybe we'll get a little prize for this Super Bowl Wizard Challenge as well this year. I know last year we had the special flair in Discord, but we'll figure something out for that. Negative 204 Cam Cameron, Sebastian is saying. Yeah, I think negative 204, that's got to be the biggest one on here, right? Cam Cameron 2007. Oh my gosh, what team would that have been? Would that have been wait, 2007? That's not the '07 Lions, is it? Was Cam Cameron the coach of that team? There's no way. Oh, the 2007 Dolphins. That's right. And then the next year they made the playoffs. That's a solid guess, honestly. I might go with that. Jim Tom Sula's has got to be pretty bad. Like this negative 56 one is interesting too, right? Like low key, like this could be Nathaniel Hackett just because the Broncos were in a lot of those games. They fired him because he was like so disappointing, and they fired him mid-season too. Honestly, I might say negative 56 is Nathaniel Hackett. We're getting somewhere here now. Oh, this screwed everything up. Hold on. The 0 was Marty Schottenheimer. Dude, there's no way we have to do this in order, right? Okay, we're going to lock in real quick. Meyer was 14, 15 games, Jack was saying. Yeah, maybe 94. We're going to stick with the 94 for now, honestly. Maybe that's a little too low, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Jack. Like, the defense was nice. I remember reading that stat that if the Broncos would have scored like 22 points every game, they would have had a winning record or something crazy like that. Negative 204, Steve Wilkes. That would have been Cardinals 2018. They were pretty awful. They were pretty awful. Man. Dude, this is so tough. I do have 15 minutes left. That is true. That at least helps a little bit, dude. I'm sinking in my chair. I'm giant. Let's see. Okay, we're going to stick with 94 for Urban Meyer. Lovie Smith 2022 Texans. I mean, they were bad. I don't think they were like 194 bad or 204 bad or anything like that. We'll go 144 for Lovie Smith. Although that feels like the number of Frank Reich, honestly. I feel like it was in the 140s. We'll say 148 for Lovie Smith, 144 for Frank Reich. How about that? It's a little bit of a guessing game, but like it's guessing with context, and I kind of like that. It's kind of like a good measurement of like how unserious were these teams actually. Okay, so we got the first three locked in. Chip Kelly 2016. That would have been with the 49ers. Dude, they were awful. That might be like 180, honestly. They were pretty awful. That was a bad team. And then we'll do negative 56 for Nathaniel Hackett. Okay, I'm feeling all right about this group right here. Sebastian is thinking 204 is Steve Wilks. We're going to do 189 for Steve Wilks. I mean, that was a pretty rough team, but honestly, I kind of like your 204 Cam Cameron take. That Dolphins team was brutal, the 2007 Dolphins, and I like that little factoid you gave. They lost a ton of games by like 3 points. Interesting. Who would be the negative 204 then? I don't think it's Jim Tomsula. I don't think it's Rob Chudzinski. I mean, dude, there's some bad teams. I'm not going to lie. I'm outing myself as a casual a little bit here. Al Groh. I don't know who that is off the top of my head. I couldn't tell you what team he coached, to be completely honest with you. You've got the Mike Mularkey Jags. They were pretty bad. Dude, where's Game Solved at? He probably knows all about the Mike Mularkey Jags. They were pretty bad. I did not see your note about coaches fired midseason. Hold up one sec. Let me find it in chat here. For coaches fired, I went for the whole season's point differential. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay, well, low-key, that Urban Meyer's probably not negative 94 then. In that case, it might be like, we'll say 149 for Urban Meyer. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then we're going to just reorder everything real quick. Negative 56 for Nathaniel Hackett. Maybe we should do 94. I feel a little bit better about 94 than 56 for Hackett, knowing that. Okay, we'll do that. Al Groh was Jets in 2000. Appreciate you, Sebastian. All right, we got that now. Let's see. Steve Wilks. Oh, yeah, we'll do Steve Wilks 189. Mike Mularkey. I'm feeling 172 here. Al Groh will do 144. Schottenheimer, I like your 0. Yeah, especially going 8-8. And honestly, Pete Carroll, negative 56. Oh, we still got the 59 to deal with, though. There's no way it's Tom Sula in 2015, right? I know the Jim Tom Sula 49ers won their week 1 game because they beat the Vikings on Monday Night Football. Dude, what if the 50... Wait, was it 59? Is that one of these guys up here? Chudzinski's Browns were pretty bad. 204 bad, though? Nah, we were sticking... Well, dude, holy smokes. This is so tough, dude. You think Wilks is the 204? They were pretty bad. What the heck? You know what? I'll trust chat. We'll do Steve Wilks 204. In chat, we trust. Man. Oh, my goodness. Al Groh 172. Let's go with it. We'll do a Schottenheimer 0 then. Pete Carroll 56. Who's the 59? Is it actually Jim Tom Sula? There's no way. That does not seem right. Brent saying I have 10 minutes left. Take my time. I mean, I could, right? But like at the end of the day, I could spend like the next 9 minutes and 43 seconds here and like just really think about it. I could, I guess. But like also ultimately at the end of the day, like deciphering between negative 59 and negative 56, like I could take all the time in the world. That's just going to be pretty tough. No, I appreciate the ramp up, honestly. Like sometimes these quizzes, you know, like, especially if you just like casually go on Sporkle and look at quizzes or whatever, you can just hit them out of the park. I like a little bit of a challenge here. This has been nice. I like this. Oh man, it is tough though. Let's see here. This is what's really throwing me off, the negative 59. Okay, let's just go. Okay, you know what? You're right, Brent. We'll take a little bit of time. We'll take a little bit of time here. Let's run through all these coaches one more time and see if there's somewhere where this negative 59 would fit in. I don't think it's here. I don't think... They did win a weird amount of games. The Lovie Smith Texans did win a weird amount of games. They were weirdly competitive. Oh, but they also still had like the second overall pick. I mean, they still weren't very good. Oh, man. Unless Hackett is the negative 59. I mean, the Broncos, like all things considered, they won like 6 games, didn't they? I'm kind of feeling Hackett for 59. Okay, we're going to do Hackett 59, and then we're going to have to reorder things a little bit. But I feel a little more comfortable with that, I think. Carroll will do 56. Tom Sula, 94. I'm starting to like how this looks now. You know what? I kind of like this order a little bit. I don't know. We might lock it in here. Oh, I'm stupid. I could have locked it. I could have hit this to lock it. Oh, well. You know what? There's something ethical about having to reorder it. Yeah, I know. I'm seeing that now. As soon as I said lock in, I was like, wait, what are these lock icons? Okay. Well, just for the sake of symbolicism, I don't even think that's a word, a symbolic gesture, we are fully locked in now here. We're just going to let it rip. Let's see what we got here. We're going to submit our guesses. Before I submit, honestly, I'm hoping for like 5 right. If I get like 50%, I'm going to be ecstatic. I'm hoping for 5. That's my guess. I'm going to get 5 right. Let's see. Oh, it goes 1 by 1. Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay. So now I've submitted my guess. I can like try again. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I see now. I get how this works now. All right, dude. I thought it was about to be like some big reveal. It's going to go like X, check X or whatever. Okay, here we go. So, can we move this? We can. We can try again. 148. I mean, the Urban Meyer Jags were pretty bad, right? We're just like guessing now. Hold on. Because we got to get the first one right now to figure out all the rest. That's what makes it really tricky. Unless I'm just like doing this completely wrong. Dude, was I cooking with like the Urban Meyer negative 94? No, okay. 194? 204? Okay, there he was the 204? That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, I would have never, dude. We got 4 guesses left now. Okay, yeah, Lovie Smith 194. That seems like a little bit too much, right? What did we end up settling on for Lovie Smith? Was it 94? Nope. Ruh-roh Raggy. What about 131? I feel like it wasn't. Oh, nice. Okay, we ain't getting 5 right. I don't think, unfortunately, unless we can pull a miracle here with Frank Reich. I swear it's one of these 3 for Frank Reich. I remember looking this up when I just wanted to like add some context to how bad the 2023 Panthers were. Fun fact, they actually did not have the worst point differential in the league that season. The Commanders did. But they were second. And I swear to you it was one of these 3. 148. I'm going with my gut. No! Oh, dude, I'm so cooked. It's 144, isn't it? Yeah. Golly, dude. Holy smokes. Dude, that quiz destroyed me. But you know what? That was a fun little exercise right there. I'm going to have to try another quiz like this at some point. Like, now that I think I have a better understanding of how it actually works on Sporkle's end, we'll have to try another quiz like that at some point. I kind of like that format, though, Caden. I think for future reference, I do kind of like quizzes in this style. You have to like order things a little bit. I think I just got thrown completely out of whack. But you know what? We're going to grind the tape. We're going to come back stronger the next time. That's what we do here. That's what we do. All right. That was fun, though. I like that. A little quiz to get us warmed up here. Let's just get into it now, man. Let's talk about what's been happening around the league. Coaching carousel going crazy. I believe there's now 7 head coach openings, right? A lot of guys getting fired. Black Monday, end of regular season, all that good stuff. Well, it's only right that we start with the big one. A little bit of a shocking development here. I'm going to be honest. Here's what I'll say. I understand why the Ravens did what they did. Honestly, I kind of support this decision. I am a little surprised that they ended up actually doing it. The Ravens firing John Harbaugh. He'd been there, 17, 18 years? Man. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Been there for as long as I've watched football. He's gone. Ravens missed the playoffs. I'm sure we all watched that game on Sunday. Honestly, I understand it. I think it makes total sense. It was just time for both sides to move on, right? Look, and them losing that one game at the end of the season to miss the playoffs is one thing, right? Missing the playoffs even is one thing. Like, for sure, the team that probably underachieved the most relative to their talent this year and relative to expectations is the Ravens. I mean, I had them as my Super Bowl pick going into the season, right? But, like, on the surface level, just them missing the playoffs once, I don't think would have been enough to can them. I will say, though, there is something to a bit of a pattern of the Ravens just like losing these games they had no business losing and playing down to their competition and blowing all these leads. And it's been far more than just this year, right? I mean, just so many mental lapses. I know this was even talked about a little bit in the Discord, right? But thinking about like AFC Championship game versus the Chiefs a few years ago, they're just not running the ball, even though it was working. They only handed the ball off to their running backs like 6 times in that game or something like that, even though their run game was looking pretty good. And the Chiefs' run defense was not the best that season, or just like, I don't think it's fair to say like, oh, Harbaugh got fired because the rookie kicker missed his kick. Like, no, like they have been blowing leads for so long. I mean, dude, like they lost to the Raiders last year, right? And even though like they still made the playoffs and like losing to the Raiders didn't really impact their season that much. It's just that games like that have happened every single year under Harbaugh for a long time now. And, it's just tough. Like they lost so many coordinators and he did a good job at replacing them for a long time. And eventually the bottom just fell out. And I will say, it is very tough. My too many coaches call plays agenda is taking a bit of a hit right now, right? If you think back to that video I put out last year, of course, right? John Harbaugh was like my poster child for, look, CEO head coaches are awesome. Like guys that just lead the organization are awesome. Look at how great John Harbaugh is. And now a year later he's fired. Like that agenda's in the dirt a little bit right now. I'm interested to see where he might go. Apparently a lot of teams are lining up to try and hire him right now. But he ain't in Baltimore. And I got to say, this is a fascinating opening now. For any aspiring head coach, this is the big ticket right here. Now, I'm a little scared that there's a certain defensive coordinator in Minnesota that wouldn't mind maybe keeping purple but swapping cities and taking over as the head man, which I got to say, from a football standpoint, Brian Flores going to Baltimore would be a perfect fit for what they need, I think. And I think he would fit that organization perfectly. As a Vikings fan, we don't need that, bro. It's okay. Just go hire an offensive coordinator. Go get Lamar an offensive coach or whatever. But I got to say, if you're Baltimore, if I'm Baltimore at least, genuinely the number one name on my list would be Brian Flores. But this is just such an interesting opening. And man, I mean, who would have thought going into the season that John Harbaugh would be fired? I mean, you'd have said like they had to have missed the playoffs, right? But I think it was time. I don't know what temperature is in chat for this move necessarily, but I think it was time for both sides to move on. I think it is fair to say going into that game that honestly, the losing coach would probably lose their job. Maybe not Tomlin just because he's built up so much goodwill, but for sure Harbaugh was coaching for his job and he lost. Like it had been coming, so. I must have, Caden, I'm terrible. I know like you gave a few disclaimers in chat. I might have been too locked in already and I just like completely missed them or something. But no, you're all good, bro. Honestly, like I'm just a little silly with it sometimes. But no, honestly, like I really like the format of that quiz. And I think that's something that we should keep doing in the future. Like I like the little matching up a little bit. They found out Harbaugh is the cheese touch dude. Shout out the Dave Whippy Kid reference. Let's go. Frankly. Starring John Harbaugh as Fregley. Oh, dude. Rest in peace, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid head coach. That's so tough. Good question from Pearchamp asking, what is the worst head coach opening? He personally thinks it's the Browns because ownership is quite literally the worst and they're still paying Deshaun Watson. I think that's a pretty valid take. You know what's funny? I mean, you make very valid points, and I think it's good enough to undermine what I was planning on saying going into the stream, honestly. Going in, I was going to say, like, honestly, I think the Browns opening isn't as bad as people think, just because I really, really like their roster. Outside of, outside of quarterback and offensive line and wide receiver, which is a lot. But the defense is sick. I like the running backs. I like Fannin a lot. I like Njoku a lot. Like, there's some pieces here. They had a nice draft class. But yeah, ownership is brutal. They're still on the hook for Watson's contract. And it's just a tough place to win, man. That's valid. That is pretty valid. I'm trying to think of the other openings right now. Right. So we've got the Ravens. That's probably the best opening. You could argue Cleveland is the worst. Atlanta's opening is tough just because, like, honestly, low key, Atlanta's opening is kind of tough. They have like a good-ish looking roster. They also don't have a first round pick for this upcoming season, right? And they're in a really weird spot at the quarterback position right now, too. They've got a very expensive veteran on their bench right now who they could move on from at this point and not take too much of a hit in their cap situation. And they've also got this third-year quarterback now where it's like, is this guy any good? Honestly, he hasn't played all that great, and he keeps getting hurt. Like, the quarterback situation is tough. They don't have a first-round pick, and they have a little bit of cap space. And I do like some of the players on their roster. But it's a sneaky tough job, just a little bit, right? And you can tell, like, they're talking about Arthur Blank, you know, maybe feeling a little bit impatient now. He's certainly not getting any younger. They moved on from Raheem Morris. They completely cleaned house. We'll see who they hire at GM and stuff, but honestly, I wouldn't say Atlanta's the worst opening, but they're low-key. That's a pretty tough job, honestly. They're in a very weird spot right now and where they're not awful. They don't have a ton of means to improve either. I don't know. They're going to have their work cut out for them. I like their roster a decent amount, but other openings here. Let's see. Who else? Oh, Vegas. Vegas is kind of tough, honestly. I mean, at least, well, they have a high draft pick. They have the first overall pick. They've got Genty. They've got Bowers, but they might be trading Max Crosby. They're all right, all things considered. What else do we got here? The Giants. I like their defense a lot. I've given that speech plenty. You know what? Yeah, I'll go with you. I'll say the Browns. I mean, they honestly, and they've got so many upcoming free agents on the offensive line. Like that line is already kind of rough as is, and they're going to have to replace guys, and the quarterback room is rough, and they could use a receiver or three. Like, yeah, we'll say the Browns. They do have some picks though, but yeah, we'll say the Browns. I like that though. I mean, yeah, Giants have been without a coach for a while. They're apparently pretty in on Harbaugh. Commanders moving on from Cliff Kingsbury, I think was a little interesting. I've got mixed feelings about that move, honestly. This is something I actually really wanted to talk about on stream. So I don't know if you guys have seen, I'm sure at this point, right? But mutually agreeing to part ways, the Commanders and Cliff Kingsbury. He came in there when, Dan Quinn came in. They were the perfect pairing, him and Jaden Daniels. And now, not even a year after making the NFC Championship game, Kingsbury is out. I will say, I've honestly never been the biggest Cliff Kingsbury guy. Just like the style of offense he runs, just personally, not my cup of tea. But I got to give it to him. Like, honestly, it kind of worked with Washington. And I really feel like the offense was never the issue. Even this year, the offense was never really the issue. I've seen a lot of Commanders fans online try and make the justification of like, well, the scheme is getting a little stale. Like, nothing's under center. There's no motion. It's very college-y. Like, it's a very gimmicky offense. Here's what I'll say. All due respect. And honestly, this is not even me saying he's a bad player, but if you're going to say like, oh, but the offense, like this offense is bad, we need to move on from it. Respectfully, look at your quarterback. Like, I'm sorry, like that's what Jaden Daniels did in college. That was the whole point of bringing in Jaden Daniels, is he and Cliff Kingsbury were this perfect fit, and Cliff was going to get the best out of Jaden and run an offense all around what he likes to do and what he's comfortable doing. I'm going to be like, if you're expecting to like hire some new offensive coordinator and completely go away from that system and like, oh, Jaden's going to come out next year and do what Dak Prescott does and get under center and call out protections, like, good luck, man. I don't know. I wouldn't count on that necessarily. I don't think that getting rid of Cliff is necessarily the answer here. I'm not saying that like teams should necessarily be lining up around the block to bring him in as their own OC. But specifically for the Commanders, when you just look at their entire roster, not even just the quarterback and Jaden, but really everything, right? You've got Debo, you've got Terry McLaurin, you've got all these different backs. Like, the entire offense really was built for Cliff. And it worked pretty, like, even with Jaden being out, like, their offense honestly wasn't that bad. So I know this isn't a head coach move, but this is something I wanted to talk about. I'm just a little puzzled by this move, to be honest with you. I don't necessarily think this is the answer. To me, this kind of screams like, oh boy, Dan Quinn is scared and he's getting desperate. So I don't know, man. We'll see. Oh, the Titans job. Yeah. Jack saying he low-key thinks the Titans job is kind of attractive. I could see that. I mean, Cam Ward showed a little bit year one, right? I was pretty impressed with him, all things considered. The tape was pretty good. The numbers were solid. You've got another high draft pick this year. You've got a beast on the defensive side of the ball in Jeffrey Simmons. I will say they're another team that's got peculiar ownership a little bit. It just seems like there's always something going on in that organization. Like, oh, we're changing GMs again. We're going to fire our GM like right after the draft and weird stuff like that. And it's the same organization that fired Vrabel pretty quickly. I don't know. But I will say from a roster standpoint, I get what you're saying. There's some pieces there. I can understand that a little bit. The line is low-key coming together a little bit too. Peter Skoronski had a really nice year. They've got some young guys up front. Okay, I could get down with that. But yeah, Ravens job, definitely the most appealing. Pearchamp is saying Zach Taylor is still a head coach because ownership is incompetent and Joe Burrow got hurt, so that's the excuse. He thinks Mike LaFleur will get some calls as the Rams OC after this season. Oh, I could see that. And, having that last name doesn't hurt either, and having the ties that he does, I could see that. Yeah, I'm going to be real with you, man. I'm glad you brought this up. I don't know why Zach Taylor is still a coach there, to be completely honest with you, dude. I truly don't see the appeal. Here's what else, okay, Burrow and the boys went to bat for him. Cool. I'm not in the locker room. By all accounts, they seem to like him. Dude, I'm sorry. He does not seem like that inspiring of a head coach, and he calls plays, but honestly, I've never been one to say, holy smokes, dude, this Bengals offensive scheme is so cool. Genuinely, more than any other team, when I think about why the Bengals are successful on offense, and I've honestly made this type of joke so many times, but it's true. The Bengals offense really is just oh, our guys are better than you. They're another team that's not a lot of motion, not a lot of creativity in how they do things. It's really just, oh yeah, Burrow and the boys are going to put up 30 because it's Burrow, Chase, and Higgins. Seriously, that's how they run their offense. And honestly, Taylor had a big chance to maybe get his name in good graces a little bit, hiring a new DC last year, right? He fired Lou Anarumo. Anarumo ended up doing a really good job with the Colts. And Al Golden, he's bringing back Al Golden and the same staff. And it's are we sure? I don't know. They would have been, honestly, the Bengals would have been a perfect team to hire a defensive-minded head coach, because I think whoever they would have hired as offensive coordinator would not have mattered as much, because we've seen that this offense can be successful without some brilliant scheme, or just because of the sheer talent that they have there. Where they need the brilliant scheming is on the defensive side of the ball. I'm glad it's not happening, but again, Brian Flores would have been a great hire for this team. Jesse Minter would have been a great hire for this team. But hey, you do you, Cincy. You do you, I guess. I saw someone in chat mention too, Jason Garrett. The Titans are looking at Jason Garrett. Dude, I cannot believe that's real. That's what I'll say. Bro has not been a coach for like 5 years. And like, even when he was a coach with the Cowboys, he was never really that amazing, honestly. I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying about Titans ownership. It's like, what are we doing, man? Jason Schwartz, head coach. Brian Flores, defense. Browns win a Super Bowl by winning games 3-0. Dude, if the Browns did get a defensive head coach just for the heck of it, like, that defense would be nasty. I mean, it already is, but like, I will say, like, again, I keep throwing his name out. Here's what I'll say. True unbiased opinion here. Brian Flores is a bad head coach. We saw how badly it went in Miami. He was mean to Tua, dude. If you're a serious organization, you wouldn't hire Brian Flores as a head coach because he might be mean to your quarterback too. Also, defensive head coaches are lame and stupid, so you definitely shouldn't hire him. It's okay. Just let him be, right? I'm sure he doesn't even want to coach your team. And, you know, he's mean to quarterbacks, so just don't hire him. But I will, dude, if the Browns had Brian Flores, yeah. No, see, well, like, jokes aside, like, honestly, Flores as a head coach versus Flores as a defensive coordinator, you do definitely hear, like, differing views on him. If you ask anyone in the Vikings locker room, they freaking love the guy because he's just in charge of the defense. He doesn't have to act like he cares about the quarterback situation or how many points the offense scores or anything, right? I can get how when you're Flores, like, that could be a little frustrating when it's like, no, you have to care about the quarterback more than anyone else because the quarterback is young and needs to be developed. Like, I get why that's like a tough spot for him. Genuinely, like, he should just be, honest opinion, like, what's wrong with him just being a defensive coordinator? But he's so good, I could see a team taking a chance on him. Parachamp saying Zach Taylor is just Mike McCarthy, but never won a Super Bowl and is living off the coattails of an elite QB. Yeah, that's a good comp. And honestly, I would say, like, McCarthy at his best was still, like, a lot better than Zach Taylor. But that's some nice coaching talk right there. I don't know if I'm missing anything big, honestly. I feel like those are the big things that I wanted to hit on. I'm sure we'll get more into it once some hires are actually made, but I liked talking about some of the openings, some of the situations that we're looking at here. And like some of the hot candidates, you know, I feel like you've got Flores, you've got Jesse Minter. Those are honestly probably the two biggest ones, which is weird to say that it's two defensive guys, one and Harbaugh too now. Other than that, man, I mean, like Grant Udinsky, I mean, low-key, like he's getting a little bit of chatter and he's coming from a very attractive spot in Jacksonville and KOC always liked him. Like that certainly helps. You've got Mike LaFleur, who Pearchamp brought up a little bit. Jeff Hafley, another defensive guy. A lot of defensive guys, you know, but like some of the offensive guys that were getting hype earlier on in the year, they're dying down a little bit. Like I think of like Joe Brady, like he was getting a lot of pop. Not so much anymore. It's just like, Joe Brady. I don't know if he'll get hired or not, but Chris Shula. Yeah, Chris Shula. Roberts, it really is a good year to need a defensive play caller. Chris Shula, Robert Saleh, absolutely. A lot of guys on the market. Get him out. Yeah, that's tough, dude. Oh, I guess, okay, one last thing. Arizona. Honestly, you could make an argument that Arizona is a pretty rough opening too, because questionable ownership. The roster is honestly all right. Like, honestly, I think talent-wise, the roster is not bad. But that division that they play in, oh, baby. Like, you could be an average to even slightly above average head coach and still pretty clearly be the worst coach in that division. I mean, having to go up against Mike McDonald, Kyle Shanahan, and Sean McVay 6 times a year. Yeah, good luck, bro. Arizona's opening that's a pretty tough job too. Even though I low-key kind of like their roster a little bit, but yeah, that's true. Yeah, I could get down with that. Cards being worse opening than the Browns, you could talk me into that a little bit. Just because situation. It's a tough job, man. All right. That was fun. That was a little fun coaching talk right there. I think we hit all the openings now. Let's do it, man. Let's get into the main event here. This is what y'all have been waiting for. The Dr. Pigskin playoff bracket. Let's go, baby. And of course, if you guys want to join in yourselves, we've got a Dr. Pigskin playoff challenge going on. There should be a link in the community post. For those of you that are in Discord, there should be a link in the Discord. I encourage you guys to hop in and participate, right? Maybe we'll do a little, just a little small little prize for the winner too, as well as, bragging rights and a little flair in the Discord. But let's just get into it, man. We're going to pick all these games here. I feel all right about my bracket, at least mentally, going into it again. There's a few matchups that I struggle with, but I feel all right. Let's start on the AFC side. We'll do the wild card round. We'll just go in order, whatever. 4 versus 5, Steelers, Texans. It's in Pittsburgh, right? Steelers getting in after truly one of the better regular season games I've ever seen, dude. That game was phenomenal. I was jumping out of my couch multiple times throughout the night. That was a fantastic 4 hours. And I'm so happy for Tomlin beating his chest, blowing the kiss. That was awesome, dude. I love Tomlin. That being said, I'm going to be honest, dude. The Texans defense might do some truly disgusting things to the Steelers offense in this game. I'm going to be real with you, man. I would be surprised if the Steelers scored more than like 13 points in this game. Look, DK Metcalf is back, and I will be watching this game, and there is a sick part of me that's pulling for the Steelers just because it's kind of fun seeing like all these aging vets as well as Mike Tomlin like fighting till the very end, and the fact that they snuck in, like that is kind of fun, right? And believe me, Pittsburgh is going to be rocking. The atmosphere is going to be awesome. It's on Monday night. Maybe the Steelers have a little bit more devil magic in them. But I like this Texans team a lot, man. I think they are built to go pretty far in the playoffs, to be completely honest with you. I think you could argue they have the best defense in the league. They've got a quarterback that I like, a quarterback that I trust. They've got a great head coach that I like and trust. They've got a true wide receiver one. The biggest thing that maybe gives me a little bit of pause is that offensive line. It's better. It's still not good, but it's better. We're getting there. They're figuring out the run game a little bit. Woody Marks has been nice. Nick Chubb has been a fun surprise. He still contributes a little bit. The offense is good enough that they can ride the defense a little bit. I don't know, man. I honestly don't hate saying, oh, the Steelers find a way to pull it out. Just seems like a game the Steelers win. I get it, right? It is in Pittsburgh. They always just seem to find a way to win on special teams or something. Maybe they block a kick and that changes the tide, or TJ Watt gets another wacky interception. But I like this Texans team too much, man. I've been kind of soft launching this for a little bit, but I think they could go pretty far in this year's playoffs. For what it's worth, they've made the playoffs first 2 years under DeMeco Ryans. Not only that, they've won a playoff game too. And I just think they're built to win in January, even with the worries I have about the offensive line. It is a nice team, dude. And even with DK Metcalf back, I just think if you're the Texans, just man up on these Steelers receivers, right? The Texans are one of the few defenses that are built to play man really against any offense in the league. And you look at the Steelers receiving room, outside of DK, it's a whole lot of nothing. And I feel like the Texans can handle DK. I struggle to see Pittsburgh scoring more than 13 points in this game. I think the defensive line is sick. They're going to destroy the offensive line. I like the Texans in this one. We'll go Houston. I'm with you, Pear Champ. Yeah, eating Rodgers alive. But you know what? We'll see if Rodgers has one more trick for us. We'll see if Tomlin has one more trick for us. We'll see if Jalen Ramsey has one more trick for us. It should be fun, but I like Houston a lot in this one. We do not care. That's an awesome quote right there. Oh, yeah. Falcons probably best landing. Just need a solid QB to give the offense some juice, says Pear Champ. The defense is coming together. That's fair. They have a few tough decisions to make as far as paying some guys, but also you don't want to get into the weeds too much with that. All right. Next game. Here's one of the games that I will say, honestly, for these two AFC games, I don't have a winner in mind going into this. For the whole NFC side, at least for the wild card round, I feel pretty good about all the teams that I'm going to pick for this one. These two matchups were the ones where it's I don't know who I'm going to pick going into this stream. We'll start with Jags Bills in Duval. part of me honestly leans Jacksonville. They're red hot right now. Their offense has been ripping. The run game is nice. And they honestly have a pretty underrated defense. It's not at the level of like Houston or Denver or anything like that. But they've got two good edges. They've got a nice pass rush. They take the ball away. They've got some nice safety play. Antonio Johnson's been good this year. Devin Lloyd's been good. They're well coached. It's in Duval. And I do worry about this Buffalo defense, honestly, like a good amount. Like, it's been a problem for them this entire season. You think about, like, some of the good offenses that they've played, they've got a lot of points put up on them, even, like, in games that they've won. You think about, like, the Bengals game. They won that game. Cincy was moving the ball pretty easily on them, you know? Am I going to pick the Jags, man? I honestly think the Bills' biggest path to victory here is Josh Allen's super soldier game / like James Cook runs wild and they get like a slight Trevor Bozo game, which honestly is all on the table. I think that's probably the recipe to win if you're the Bills here. Josh Allen has to go off. You have to get a takeaway or two on defense. I'm going to go Jacksonville. I am going to go Jacksonville. Jack says if the Jags win the game, they come out of the AFC, and that's what I picked. I think I'm with you. I'm going to go Jacksonville here. The running game is clicking, and I really don't trust this Bills defense right now. And I think that's something you're going to hear me talk a lot about when I fill out this bracket. Honestly, two of the biggest things I factor in, I mean, no duh, this isn't like a crazy revelation, but when it comes playoff football time, defense and offensive line play, I factor that in so much, dude. And like, I will ding you pretty hard if I don't trust your defense. And I think we might see that with the Bills here. Bills getting first rounded would be crazy. But this Jags team, dude, they're red hot right now. I mean, they went into Denver and put up like 35 on the Broncos. I remember saying before that game, I like the Jags. I don't think they're built for this moment yet. Nope. Who's playing better than Trevor right now, right? The offense is completely figured out. Yeah, we'll go Jags. Looks like Chad is going with Jags here too. Don't say that you like picking the Jags as a surprise. No, that's fair, I guess. That's fair. But, you know, I mean, the Bills getting first rounded, that would be crazy. But I get what you're saying. True. And true. I mean, genuinely, like, kicking is going to matter a lot in the playoffs. We've seen it all season now, right? Special teams, big part of the game. Jaguars have one of, if not the best kicker in the NFL. That could matter. Yeah, we'll go Jags. Pair Champ's got the Jags going all the way too. A lot of Jags love. Okay, I like it. Here's another tough one. Patriots Chargers, which, by the way, we will be going live for this game. It has been a hot minute since I have done a game live stream. We're bringing them back for the playoffs. This is the one right here. Patriots versus Chargers. This is the Sunday night football game. Two phenomenal quarterbacks. We had a few jokes in chat last week when I was doing my quarterback ranking quiz that I was gushing so much over the two quarterbacks of these teams, but come on, man. This is a great 2-7 matchup right here. Another one where it's like, I don't know who I'm picking. And I think that's crazy because honestly, I've been soft launching this Chargers get first rounded take for like over a month now. And if you want to talk about an offensive line I don't trust, it's the Chargers. They probably, I think they definitely have the worst offensive line of any team in the playoffs. And I think normally that would be enough for me to just be like, dog, they're not winning the game. I will say, though, if there is a team for them to draw in the first round, it probably is the Patriots. I would say out of all the teams that they could have played here, the Patriots have the worst four-man rush out of any of these teams. You can run on them a little bit, too. Oh, it is in Foxborough. And again, like, you could argue the other way. The Patriots' four-man rush not being amazing might not kill them against a line like the Chargers. I'm going Chargers here, honestly. I'm going to go the Chargers. Jesse Minter is such a good coach on the defensive side of the ball. I think they might have something for May and McDaniels. This is a big spot for a pretty young Patriots team. Chargers aren't exactly like super battle tested either. I don't know. I think Herbert might. I think Herbert might have a pretty good game. I think it'll be nice for him to maybe finally get some clean pockets again. And I was talking about this last week with Herbert. Like, man, if you give him clean pockets, this passing game might go off a little. I mean, we even saw that at the beginning of the season, right? QJ and Ladd isn't like Chris Carter and Randy Moss, but it's not bad. And Herbert can sling the rock. Chargers defense is, I mean, they're a top 10 unit, right? They've got good players on all three levels, and they're just so well coached. I'm going to go Chargers. A rare, would this be the first ever no, Packers won as a 7 seed, but a rare 7-2 upset. We're going to go Chargers. Do I trust teams that train in 70-degree weather? Not usually, but this is a Jim Harbaugh team we're talking about. He'll have the boys ready. For this one. Jack is saying Chargers are the worst team in the playoffs. Maybe Carolina is worse. I would say Carolina is definitely worse. It is so crazy, like how I'm saying this now, because I've been so anti-Chargers the whole year. And this could come back to bite me in the butt. Like, look, they could just get overrun in the trenches. But I think their defense is good enough to keep a game close versus most of these teams. I'm not going to say like the Patriots are full-on frauds, but like we'll see how they do now that they're going to be playing a good team every week. I'm feeling more and more good about my Chargers pick. I'm going to go Chargers here. Michael is saying this bracket sucks. Appreciate you tuning in, Michael. I know, dude. I had to pick against the black and yellow. Sorry about that, man. Hey, we'll see, though. Mike Tomlin, he always seems to find a way, doesn't he? We'll see. But we're going Chargers here, setting up a very interesting divisional round. But we'll hop over to the NFC before we do all that. There's a Jags uni take. Jags need to debut new red and yellow unis before the game, and the Bills will fold like a deck of cards. Oh, Chiefs. That took me a second. I was like, McDonald's? Someone say Mike McDonald? Pear Champ saying Jags and Bills is such an exciting game. T-Law has been on fire as of late, and the team overall is so balanced. This is probably the worst Bills team to make the playoffs in the last 4 years. Jags win. I like that. I will say I was a little disappointed the Jags-Bills game was 1 o'clock. I mean, I don't want to like split hairs too much. At the end of the day, is the playoffs. Like all games are good. All games are island games. Like we'll see every game, but I thought you could have made a very good case that this could have been the Sunday night game, but I ain't complaining about this either. So we'll take it either way. Yeah, Cam Little is nice, dude. Cam Little is nice. Someone said Mike McDonald, indeed. Chargers in their current state with the injuries are not threatening. I get it. That's valid. Maybe this will be my Packers beating the Eagles take from last year, but I'm sticking my neck out with this one a little bit, but just you wait. I'm about to really stick my neck out on the NFC side. Not this game. No, I mean, come on, let's be honest. The Panthers, hey, I say this is Mr. Rams. I'm pulling for the Panthers here. They've got the power of friendship, right? I've always had a soft spot for the Panthers, too. Dog, I'm sorry, they're not winning this game. They're not. They beat the Rams earlier on in the year, and that was fun. But that was a very weird game where they forced like 3 turnovers. They had a pick 6 and stuff like that, and yet it still came down to the very end. I think the Rams outgained them by a lot in that game too. Look, it's in Charlotte. The bank is going to be freaking rocking. And honestly, all things considered, there are a lot of pieces that I like on this Panthers team. I think overall you have to look at this year as a success. They took a lot of steps in the right direction. They've got a few questions to answer this offseason, but I love the receivers. I love the offensive line. The running game, the running backs have been up and down, but like overall, all things considered, they're fine. I don't know, man. I don't know that defense has a prayer against the Rams offense, to be completely honest with you. We'll see how the Rams fare later on in the playoffs, but this will probably be the least competitive game of the first round. I don't think that's a very hot take. I feel like most people would probably agree with that, which is funny because it's the 4 versus the 5, but it's the Rams. If there's anyone in chat that's picked Panthers, I would love to hear your take as to why. And like if you have like a genuine reason as to why. I don't see it though. Oh yeah, you're right, Pear Champ. It is the first time the Texans are not playing at the 4:30 Saturday game. Yeah, good old Westivus. If you know, you know. But you know what? Good for the Texans getting that streak snapped. Carolina every other week. Panthers, Jack Galati is saying. Yeah, true. I mean, they've been very Jekyll and Hyde this season. But Panthers lost last week. Panthers win this week. There you go. That's the take right there. And they already beat them once, right? Michael wants to go to the Panthers game this weekend, but the weather needs to improve. Oh, is there might be like rain coming through or something. I know I was looking at just like the forecast down here in Georgia. There might be some rain this weekend. Hey, it's not me that'd be out there getting wet in the stands, so maybe this is easy for me to say, but I will say, going to a rain playoff game or something like that, that'd be a fun story, you know? That'd be a good time. It's playoff football. Shoot, I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if I drove to the Panthers game? But that's probably out of the question for me. But yeah, we're going Rams here, man. We're going Rams. Any given Sunday, there you go. Yeah. Panthers have that dog in them. Rah. All right. These next two games, I'm pretty excited to talk about. I've got takes. All right, next one. This is another great matchup. A lot of history between these two teams, especially recently. 49ers, Eagles in Philly. The big story this past week. Oh my gosh, the Eagles are so stupid for resting their starters. How did Nick Sirianni suck this hard? What were they thinking? They missed out on the 2 seed. They're so dumb and moronic. I don't trust this team. Everyone's getting fired. Nick Sirianni needs his head on a stake. Give me the Eagles all the way in this game, dude. I think Philly is being so underestimated going into the playoffs. I really do. I think this is a very different situation from 2023. I know that's like an easy comparison to make of like, oh, the vibes are weird for a talented Eagles team going into the playoffs, right? I think this is very different because in 2023, I mean, they legitimately had like one of the worst defenses in the league, and they were getting outplayed and like outgained in most of their games. And you could see like, okay, this is going to fall apart pretty quickly here. They had Matt Patricia running around calling plays and stuff. This year, honestly, most of their big games, the Eagles have won, or at the very least been competitive, right? Eagles defense, I'm with you, Jack. Top 5 defense. They've still got Fangio. They've still got dudes at every level. I made my mock all-pro team the other day, right? I think I had 2 Eagles on the first team, 1 Eagles second team, and there's a few other Eagles that I strongly considered, and that's just for defense, right? The defense is nasty. It's in Philly. This team is battle-tested. Yes, the offense has had their issues so far this season. It's been up and down. It's been a clunky operation. They've had injuries on the offensive line. I really like Philly in this game. I'm going to stick my neck out here. I like Philly in this game, and honestly, I like them to maybe win a few games here in the playoffs. I think they're getting overlooked a little bit. This is still just as good of a defense as they had last year. They've still got Saquon, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Goddard's having a good year. And on the other end, I've been kind of talking about this a little bit too. I think it's very impressive what Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh and the 49ers have done this year, given all their injuries. And I had pretty low expectations for them coming into this season, and they punched way above them. I mean, the fact that they were playing for the 1 seed is insane. I think they're a slight paper tiger. I'm sorry, man. Look at that defense. With all the injuries that they've had, you want to talk about a weak 4-man rush. I said the Patriots had the weakest 4-man rush out of like any team in the AFC playoffs. You want the weakest 4-man rush in the entire playoffs, it's the 49ers. If I'm not mistaken, Myles Garrett, a singular human being, had more sacks this season than the San Francisco 49ers. Nick Bosa's not there. Mykel Williams is not there. Fred Warner's not there. I mean, we've seen their defense get absolutely fried in some big spots. We saw them get fried by the Rams. We saw them get fried by the Bears. I really do not trust this defense. Trent Williams' health is up in the air a little bit too, and that is a little concerning because we've seen their offense really take a dip when he's not out there. And I think Philly just punches them in the mouth. I think they're the better team. I like Philly a lot in this one. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they won this game by double digits. I really like the Eagles here. I really like the Eagles. Brent picked the 49ers. I mean, hey, Purdy's been pretty good. They've got CMC, they've got Kittle, they've got Kyle, right? They've got some edges. I really like this Eagles team, though. Backs against the wall, too, right? I mean, is this not almost exactly what happened last year? The Eagles were not quite as dominant record-wise, and like Saquon did go for 2,000 yards. But if we're going to be real with ourselves, and I fell victim to this too, the narrative around the Eagles going into the playoffs was pretty similar last year. Oh my gosh, Sirianni is a doofus that might get fired, and their passing game sucks. They can't throw for 150 yards. How are they winning all these games? I don't know, man. They beat the Bills. They beat the Packers. They beat the Rams. I don't know, man. They've beat a lot of good teams this year. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. But what's up, Miguel? Appreciate you tuning in. Saying upload the live. You'd love to catch the rest later. Well, I've got good news for you, man. YouTube automatically does that. If you want to go back and watch the replay, if you go to my channel and then click on live, there should be recordings of the full live stream. You can go back. You can go back and watch any live stream that's ever been done on this channel. So hopefully I think that you should just be able to like do that through my channel. But we do have the full live. It gets uploaded like as soon as the live gets shut down here. So if you want to go back and watch the rest, I mean, first of all, I appreciate it, man. That's awesome. But second of all, there should be a way for you to do that. But let's go. Yeah, I like it. We've got some new faces in here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. That's pretty fun. Han Solo is in here too. Love the name. 40 Whiners. Also talking about Fangio. Never had this kind of roster. I mean, hey, he's got dudes at every level. Shanahan has never been good against Fangio. True. Yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago, these two teams met in the NFC Championship game. Granted, well, no, Fangio wasn't there yet, but no, that's true. Fangio versus Shanahan. That's a great matchup right there. But we're gonna go Eagles here. Seahawks already destroyed the Niners in their own barn, and they completely battered Mr. Dougie. That was a battering. That was a beatdown. Yeah. Covalent Salt. I might have got your name wrong. Sorry if I did. But says that they've been very bad at moving the ball outside of the game script this year. Maybe they won't be in the playoffs. So talking about the Eagles potentially, that's fair. But I think they if that's what you're referring to, I think the Eagles honestly could stay within script in this game. This is a game I'm really excited to watch. And let's go, Caden. You read my mind. New faces in here as always. Got to plug the Discord. Got it pinned up at chat now. Go click that link if you want to join, if you're into that kind of thing. And hey, if you want to get in on the action, if you want to see if you can beat my bracket, we have a little bracket challenge going too. But appreciate you, Caden. Let's go. All right. Last wild card game, Bears versus Packers. This is the Saturday night game. Another great matchup. Two great quarterbacks. Classic rivalry that's finally got some juice going again. I'm taking Green Bay. I know. I've been on the Bears fraud train all season, and they've definitely earned my respect a little bit, right? I think if you're a Chicago fan, here's what I'll say. Maybe easy for me to say. If you're a Chicago fan and you get first rounded, let's say the Packers actually do win. While that would obviously suck losing to your rival, I do think you could take some solace in the fact that you are most definitely ahead of schedule and you can most definitely improve next year. There have been a lot of people that have compared the Bears to last year's Commanders, but I think this is a different situation. That Commanders team was very veteran-laden, a very old roster, and it just didn't feel like that they had much room to grow. Just because they had a rookie quarterback, that didn't necessarily mean that, like, development is linear. With Caleb, I think he can get better. They've got a very young offense, and there was a lot of growing pains early on under Ben Johnson, just a lot of stuff to learn and pick up. I think there is some room for growth if you're the Bears. But ultimately, stop me if you've heard this before, I'm going to be honest with you. I do not trust this Bears defense whatsoever. I think it is the worst unit out of either team's offense or defense in this matchup, and I think it could end up costing them. As great as Caleb has been and as amazing as this Bears offense has been, I think it's kind of easy to forget that when he's been out there, Jordan Love has been better. This Packers offense has been better. It's been a bit of a weird year for them. And I get what you're saying, Sebastian. Maybe the Packers are in a little bit of a tailspin right now. Maybe they miss Micah in this game. I'll give you that. I don't think either team's four-man rush is necessarily inspiring right now. I think so much of this is just built on I really don't trust Chicago's defense. I think people are sleeping on Jordan Love a little bit going into the playoffs. And I think if you want like a monster quarterback performance that like kind of turns heads and makes people go like, whoa, okay, like I could see this being a big Jordan Love game. He throws for like 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the Packers win. And what I think is going to be a shootout. I think this Look, the Packers defense isn't great either without Micah, but I trust them a little bit more, and I think they're a little bit more well coached on that side of the ball. And an interesting subplot of this game is potentially Matt LaFleur coaching for his job, which I find interesting. But I'm sticking my neck out here with both these games. I have not been particularly high on either the 49ers or Bears throughout the regular season. And I think they both got pretty tough matchups in the first round. Like, obviously, like, both those teams would beat the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? And I was even thinking in my head, like, Bears-Rams would be an interesting matchup just because of the way those offenses and defenses match up. Like, I think the Bears would be well-suited to kind of mitigate the Rams' pass rush, but weak secondary, the way the Rams' defense is built with how Caleb moves and how good the line is. Like, honestly, if there's one team I thought the Bears matched up well against, it was the Rams. But also they would have probably stopped that Rams offense either. But Pearchamp says he hopes the Packers win. You think his team is too injured to make a deep run, but he'd appreciate a win over the Bears. Oh, yeah, absolutely, right? I mean, you beating your rival in the playoffs, that would feel pretty good. Caden saying losing Kraft didn't get talked about enough. No, I mean, it's a huge loss, right? He's their best pass catcher, and he has been missed maybe even a little bit more than I thought he would be. And I've said that as like a huge Tucker Kraft fan, but Watson being back has helped a lot too. I honestly think Christian Watson being back has evened things out a little bit. Like they finally have that guy on the outside again. It's kind of a shame it hasn't been Matthew Golden this year. And hey, you know who's kind of coming on a little bit? Look who's starting to catch the ball a little bit. Dontavion Wicks, baby. Hey, he's still coming. I still got him in a few of my dynasty leagues. We haven't sold our stocks yet. But I think this Packers offense is going to cause some problems. I like a shootout for this game, though. Covalent Salt. I might just say Salt. I don't know what it is about your name that trips me up so much. But he says Bears win if it's 45-42, but if they don't win, it's 13-10. Yeah, I could see some chaos going. Pearchamp says he agrees the offense hasn't looked as good without him except for the Thanksgiving game. Yeah. But the Thanksgiving game, that was pretty nice though, wasn't it, right? That's the ceiling, man. That's the vision. Like, that's how good Jordan Love can be. And he is hitting that ceiling more and more consistently each year, I feel like. Jack says if it's Packers-Hawks in the second round, it's a sneaky, annoying matchup for Seattle. It's an interesting one. It is. We got both 7 seeds winning. That's crazy. Let's get into the divisional rounds now. That is crazy. We've got both 7 seeds winning. Broncos versus Chargers. Yeah, it's hard to pick against Denver here, right? Look, I actually had a really good conversation with my friend James. This was back in December. We were talking about whether the Broncos were like legit contenders or not. He said no. I was like, I don't know, dude. Like, look, you can have your own take on Bo Nix or whatever. But man, if they don't check a lot of boxes, top 3 offensive line, if not like the best offensive line in the NFL. Not an amazing group of pass catchers, but like good enough. Everyone's got their roles. Sean Payton's a good coach and a nasty defense. Pair that with home field advantage throughout and a really tough place to play in Denver. The thin air, it gets a little bit chillier, and that place gets loud. This is a tough team to beat on the road, dude. I don't care who you are. And while I might like the Chargers a little bit in that Patriots matchup, Herbert might get sacked like 8 times in this game. This is where I think the Chargers offense just lays an egg. And it's just like, what can you even do? You've got G Leaguers out there on the offensive line against the team that I believe led the league in sacks this year, right? Like Nick Bonito, Zach Allen, Jonathan Cooper. It's over. Yeah. I think if this were the matchup, I would feel pretty good about Denver winning this one. Probably by double digits, honestly. I think they'd control the game throughout. So I like Denver against the Chargers. Jags, Texans? Why do I want to say the Texans? And it's so funny because everyone's on the Jags right now. And I like the Jaguars a lot too. I think I like the Texans just a little bit more, man. This defense is legit. I think they've got all the ingredients of a team that could make a run to the Super Bowl, truly. I'm going to go Texans over Jags on the road, too. Again, I think it's completely valid to be worried about the offensive line. I think that's by far, that's a legit concern. But the Texans' offense has started to figure out ways to mitigate it a little bit. I feel like C.J. Stroud has gotten a little bit more comfortable under pressure now. He's getting the ball out a little bit quicker. He's been a little bit smarter about when to run and when to hold on to the ball and try and throw downfield a little bit. I don't know, man. I don't know. And it's honestly, I think something that you could point out for Jacksonville, their defense has been nice. Which corner is going to go up against Nico Collins, right? Who's guarding Nico? And if you're the Texans, you can just man up and get in everyone's face. And honestly, the Jaguars' offensive line isn't amazing either. I'm gonna go Houston. I am very, very high on the Texans. I like Lawrence more than Stroud too, Pear Champ. I'll definitely give you that. Maybe I'm drinking the Texans Kool-Aid a little bit too much. I don't know. They've won 9 straight. They're a really good team in Houston. We'll go Texans. Broncos-Texans AFC Championship game would be sick, honestly. And I guess maybe I did have this matchup in my head a little bit for the AFC Championship, but I was like, we'll see how the bracket plays out. This is a fantastic matchup right here, man. Oh, let's go. All right. Seahawks-Packers divisional round. I'm talking about Josh Jacobs being hurt. Yeah, it's something. I will probably go Seattle here, man. They're too balanced on both sides of the ball. Even though I get what you're saying, Jack, with Seattle being a sneaky tough matchup just because, at least my rationale for that is Jordan Love is really good under pressure, and this Packers defense forces a lot of turnovers, and maybe, they pick off Darnold a few times. Maybe Jeff Hafley, outwits Kubiak or Darnold one a few times to get a few big turnovers, and Love just goes on a heater. But yeah, I think it's not Seattle again. I know some PTSD flashbacks for Packers fans here. We're going to go Seahawks though. I mean, for all the good things I've said about Broncos defense, Texans defense, copy paste Seahawks defense, right? And they're just as, if not even more well coached. The offense honestly isn't perfect. And I think if you want to talk about a team that maybe struggles on offense when they get out of their script, it is fair to point that out with the Seahawks. You look at Darnold's splits when it's 3rd and longer and they can't get heavy and then run play action out of it and it's not quite as good. Yeah. Right. But no, Micah really just puts a limit on how far the Packers can go, I think. I think if Micah was here, this is a more interesting conversation, and you could flirt with the Packers upset if they had Micah, but they just don't have that game wrecker up front that can take advantage of Seattle's line anymore. The defensive line, while they've got some pieces outside of him, I think Seattle can handle them. We'll go Seahawks. 1 seed winning. Crazy, I know, right? Anthony Bradford. No Seattle loss in the playoffs can hurt more than 2014. Yeah. It won't feel like 2014. That's what I'll say. It won't rip your heart out like that. But Jack is saying, give me Philly over the Rams. You know what's crazy? I'm kind of leaning that way too, to be completely honest with you. Here's something that might shock some of you that have watched this channel for a minute. Because I have always been Mr. Rams cheerleader. And honestly, this is more of a gut feeling than anything else. Well, there's one piece of rationale that I can put behind it. But I'm going to be honest with you. Going into the playoffs, I honestly don't trust the Rams all that much. I trust them to beat the Panthers. But going into the stream tonight, filling out this bracket, I was like, honestly, I don't think the Rams are going to be my Super Bowl pick. I don't think I'm going to have them going to the Super Bowl. there are some things that could go wrong with them a little bit, right? Stafford, as great as he's been, he's had a few stinkers, not even stinkers, but like not great games. And you see that when he gets heated up a little bit. Easier said than done. Rams line has been pretty good this year. Stafford gets the ball out. He hangs in the pocket. He gets that ball out quick. All that good stuff. McVay's always got answers for everything. But, I was at that Falcons-Rams game, right? I saw what happened. It's possible. You can do it. Also, Vic Fangio kind of had Sean McVay's number a little bit. Eagles defense, pretty good. We were already talking about that. Think they could win the line of scrimmage. And then defensively, I think something that's worth pointing out, Rams defense has been very good this year. Well coached, like a lot of the players on there. But what I was kind of hinting at with like this hypothetical matchup with the Bears, I do think this Rams defense is gettable if you can stand up to that pass rush. If you can get just a little bit of time to throw the football, you can pick on the secondary a little bit. It is easier said than done, believe me, because that defensive line is sick. But it is possible. It is possible. I'm taking Philly. It's in Philly too, right? As you're saying, Jack, if the game was in LA, you'd go Rams, but Philly makes the difference. It's in Philly, right? It could be cold. Could be more of a ground and pound type of game. I trust the Eagles running game a little bit more than the Rams. Kyren or Saquon, right? Dude, I'm going Philly, it is a bit of a heel turn, right? Believe me, I don't love picking against Mr. Backwards Hat. I'd love to see him get another Super Bowl to, boost his legacy score a little bit, right? They're a fun team to watch. I'm going Philly. Oh, baby. We got a good conference championship round coming up here now, too. Eagles defense is good, man, and that means a lot to me. Especially, I think so much of the reason why I've gotten radicalized about this was what happened last year, right? The Eagles defense were world beaters throughout the entire season, loaded on every level, legendary defensive coordinator. And then going into the playoffs, I was like, well, but what about Jalen Hurts' passing yards? It just straight up did not matter, dude. Hurts had bad games in the playoffs. It did not matter, right? Hurts had an awful game against the Rams last year. They still won, If you could be even like average, I think they got him. Pearchamp doesn't trust the Eagles. I think that's valid. Maybe this is me like going to bat for Sirianni of all people too hard, but I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next round here now. Oh boy. But Sebastian saying there's no limit to how badly the playoffs can rip your heart out. Truth nuke. Absolutely true. Yeah. All right, here we go. Conference championship game. We've got Broncos, Texans, Seahawks, Eagles. Oh, baby. Come on now. All right. We'll start on the AFC. Both 1 seeds still in it. Honestly, the only reason why I haven't picked Denver yet is because part of my brain is saying I don't want to be boring and pick the 1 seed to go to the Super Bowl. But I do think this might be where the buck stops for Houston here, and that I could justify in these earlier matchups, like, okay, like, 1, their defense will be able to overwhelm the offense, and 2, like, I trust their offense enough because, like, they're not going up against an elite defensive line. Like, maybe their offensive line doesn't get their head caved in. Maybe their offense can actually score 22 points, and that'll be enough to win the game. I'm going to be real, man. I don't know that Houston would score 22 in this game. And as much as I like Houston's defense, I think this could be an ugly, rock fight, low-scoring game. Oh, but it's so tough because, like, here's the thing. I say all that, they could eat Bo Nix alive in this game, Like, I think, here's what I'll say. Here's what's giving me so much trouble. If we're looking at the entire roster, top to bottom, there is no question I think the Broncos have a better roster. But if we weigh things a little more proportionately, and this goes against everything I stand for, right? I don't want to weigh the quarterback position too much here. We just saw a team with, in my opinion, like probably an average quarterback win the Super Bowl last year. We've seen this literal franchise, the Denver Broncos, win a Super Bowl with a horrible quarterback room back in 2015. But also, am I really going to trust Bo Nix against this Texans defense? But can I trust this Texans offensive line against the Broncos defense? Like, oh my, see, this matchup is honestly breaking my brain. I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go Houston. Houston in the Super Bowl. I'm going with my gut. You know what? I will say, in that same conversation that I had about the Broncos back in December, I also said, hot take, maybe the Texans make the Super Bowl. We're going to stand on business here. I like this Houston team so much. They're red hot. They've won 9 straight. Best defense in the league. They can man up against anyone. D'Amico's a great coach. Give me Houston to the Super Bowl in a rock. I'm with you. Like 13-10, rock fight, ugly game. I'm with you. Now to the NFC. Battle of the Birds. Seahawks, Eagles in Seattle. Jack says, means you're picking the Seahawks as your 1 seed, right? Man, I hate telling bad news to people I like. I like the Eagles in this matchup. If this were to play out in the playoffs, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think I like Philly a little bit more. I really like this Eagles defense matchup against the Seahawks offense. If there's a team that I think could go band for band with this heavy set play action, it's a team with like a sick slot corner that can cover but can also come downhill and play the run. It's the team with the massive mountain of a man in Jordan Davis, not to mention Jalen Carter and Zach Bond with his bald head on fire flying around making plays, right? If there's a team that can get the Seahawks out of their offensive script of, oh, it's 3rd and 3, we're going to bring out the big boys and then hit you with a little play action crosser to A.J. Barner. I know, Jack, I'm sorry, man, but like this Eagles team is a tough matchup for the Seahawks, right? Hey, who could handle JSN? Not a lot of people. Maybe Quinyon and Cooper can, though, right? I think this would be another one of those lower scoring games. It could be a race to like 23 in this game. W Rage Fate. Patullo versus Mike McDonald. Fair, understandable. And maybe I'm putting too much stock into defense this time and overcorrecting. And maybe that sounds extra hypocritical because the Seahawks defense is like definitely just as good as the Eagles. I'm taking Philly. I think Philly would win in a matchup between these two teams. You could argue Seahawks have a little bit more talented of a roster. I totally get that. Watch the Eagles be 1-2. It so could happen, dude. It's crazy. Like, I am putting a lot of eggs in the Eagles basket right now. I mean, there's no way I have them go back to back, right? Super Bowl Texans, Eagles. There's no way I have them go back to back, right? Dude, this is the stupidest thing I've done all year. I've got Philly, dude. I don't know why. Like, look, this is a really good team, man. They're well coached. They've got a phenomenal defense. They're built well in the trenches. They can run the ball. They've got 2 excellent wide receivers. Look, they had a bad passing game all season, all these weird struggles. They're still beating good teams. They're still winning a lot of games. Yeah, dude. Honestly, I didn't fully expect this going in. This is my pick. Eagles win the Super Bowl. Lock it in. We're submitting our bracket. This is honestly crazy, but we're doing it. Philadelphia Eagles are my Super Bowl pick. There you go, man. There you go. If y'all want to try and beat me, hey, open invitation to the group right here on ESPN. Look at that. I don't think I can look at anyone else's picks yet until the brackets lock or whatever. But I will say, if people in Discord maybe want to like slide their picks in or whatever, dude, I didn't fully expect this, but I kind of did a little bit. Last year I had Lions, Ravens. Yeah, that was tough. I will say. Philly paid me. Dude, I'm getting a lot of heat for this. You know what? I get it. I get it. It is very rage bait coded, maybe a little bit. This is definitely a hot take. It stayed 88 minutes for that. Hey, if y'all want to try and beat me, the link has been posted. Unsubbed. Dude, at this rate, I'm going to go below 10K. Well, there you go, man. That is my playoff bracket. Some hot takes for sure, but you know what? It wouldn't be the playoffs without a little bit of chaos. You know what's stupid is I'm probably going to wake up tomorrow and be like, what am I doing? Eagles Super Bowl champion? What am I thinking? You know what? No. I actually feel pretty good about this pick. This team is loaded, dude. This team is loaded. There's no better vote of confidence than me immediately going, ugh. All right, folks. Well, interesting bracket. I'm excited for the playoffs. We'll see how it all plays out. I'm sure we'll probably have some fun with this throughout the postseason. But genuinely, this is my pick. This is my Super Bowl pick. Eagles over Texans, as crazy as it might be. Dr. Bozo. But if y'all want to, I'd actually love to see everyone's playoff brackets when y'all get the chance to film, and you don't have to do it right this second, but it was kind of fun seeing everyone's brackets in Discord last year. If we want to bring that back again this year, I think that'd be a little bit fun too, but we'll see if I get the Super Bowl wizard title or not. Again, you got the Discord link pinned in chat. If you go to the Discord, there's a link for this as well as in the community post that I made earlier today. If you want to go back and watch this stream, what you might have missed, you can just click on the channel once the stream is done. You can go back and watch any part that you might have missed. I'm getting reported. I'm being told it's awful. I'm being unsubbed too. But on that note, I appreciate all you guys. Y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good rest of your week. I will be back Sunday night. That's crazy. I will be back going live for the Patriots-Chargers game, also known as the game right after the Eagles-49ers game. Dude, if the 49ers win that game, I will be getting cooked in this live stream. But you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We'll see what happens. All right, y'all. Go Philly, go, please.